Being a native of San Francisco, born and raised here, born at Kaiser Permanente on Geary Street, to see this man's career was a pleasure growing up and seeing all the 49ers Super Bowls. 3-time Super Bowl champion Roger Craig. Former San Francisco 49er, now an outstanding quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, led them to the divisional playoff this year. Great things in the future for Alex Smith, quarterback. I think that we'll start out, Steve, I want to start with you, really. I mean, you are the former Carolina Panther, and the Panthers now are in the Super Bowl. I sat in the table with Carolina Panther fans telling Steve Smith's story. So just your feelings of the Carolina Panthers, your former team, being in the Super Bowl, and maybe some memories from Super Bowl 38 when you last participated in that Super Bowl.
Well, Super Bowl 38 we lost, so...
You were awesome in that game too, by the way.
But we lost.
You lost to us.
I mean, that's, you know, being here for going on 16 years now, you know, I really haven't partaken in too many Super Bowl events. And I always kind of been, if I wasn't going, I didn't want to be a participant of it. And one of the things I've came here with my wife, and one of the things that I experienced leaving this is I want to continue to come back because I get the opportunity to celebrate one of the biggest moments in our game. And I get to be on stage and look at guys like Roger Craig, Jim Kelly. This is the first time in my 16-year career I met Franco Harris. So for me, I wouldn't have that opportunity to do that if I wouldn't have been not let go by the Carolina Panthers and picked up by the Baltimore Ravens. So for me, as the Carolina Panthers embark on trying to win the Super Bowl, for me, I take it as an opportunity. Years ago, I would have given up anything to be a Super Bowl champion or be in a Super Bowl game. But then I discredit all the years and all the things and all the people that have built into me to be able to make me the man I am today. And so I appreciate the opportunity that Carolina gave me. But I'm more appreciative of the opportunity of where I am today. Right here, I get to, if they win, great. If they don't, that's too bad. I would have, if the Carolina Panthers win, I have watched 14 other Super Bowl champs be crowned prior to tomorrow, so I think I'll be okay.
Winning the Super Bowl, but then sort of winning multiple Super Bowls. I guess this question is for Franco and Roger. To establish something, really, to be a part of teams that dominated decades. What was that like, and what needed to happen from players and coaches for that type of dominance to be seen?
Well, I think players, you know, have to buy into the system, and so with the guys I played with, we bought into Bill Walsh's system, the West Coast offense, and we all knew what our roles were, and we had to play those roles to the highest level. I couldn't just be happy with just running the ball, you know, being selfish, like some running backs just want to run the ball, you know, run the ball 30 times a game. I had to learn how to catch. I had to do everything. Catch, block, play action fake, all that things. All those things are really important. And so I bought into the system, and it's not just me, but other players in our team bought into the system. And that's why we had so much success. You look at the Warriors, how Draymond Green is playing, you know? I mean, they're playing like you've never seen a team play like that before on the planet. These guys are amazing. But they bought into Steve Kerr's system, so they're winning. And when you have a culture, you know, you're going to have that kind of success. And I know Franco had the same success in Pittsburgh. They have the same type of mentality. You know, they bought into Chuck Noll's system. That's why they won so many games.
And Franco, what the players? I mean,
well, you never really know year to year what's going to happen. I mean, every year we go to training camp, and all of us dream about going to the Super Bowl, right? But we know it really takes a lot of luck, a lot of different things to really make that happen. It's not an easy journey. I mean, it doesn't matter if you've been there once or twice, whatever. It's tough. And So my rookie year, right? I mean, you know, what did I know? Just came in and I said, wow, let me go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, wow, you know, I mean, that's in your head. And we had a great rookie year. But you have to remember, I went to a team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, that from 1933 to 1971, they were the worst team in NFL history. They were the bottom of the barrel. Other teams used to threaten their players, say, if you don't straighten up, we're gonna trade you to Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, it was bad. So, 1972, my rookie year, things started to come together, and we went all the way to the championship game and lost to the 17-0 Miami Dolphins. And then you start to believe more that, you know, where we're a young team, but you start to believe, hey, you know what? We can compete. We can be one of the best. And then 2 years later, we made it to the Super Bowl, and that was so unbelievable. But that year was a year that none of us thought that we would, because that year started off very tough. And Bradshaw was benched, and Joe Gillen was playing. I was hurt, I think, the first 4 games, and team wasn't really playing that well. And then all of a sudden, it started to click at the right time. And then we went into the playoffs, and we just drove all the way to the Super Bowl. And we went to New Orleans, and we got that Super Bowl, and I mean, the thrill was incredible winning it. And we loved it so much, we said, let's do it again. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's do it again. But it's every year, you know, and I have to admit, because kids growing up in Pittsburgh, they thought the Steelers always went to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? They said, oh, but it's tough every year. I mean, it's a tough road, and to get there is very, very special, and to win it is incredible.
And we were talking about that earlier, just the accomplishment of getting to the Super Bowl was so special. I've lost a couple Super Bowls. I've lost to Peyton Manning in the 2006 AFC Championship game, and they're all looking back on it, at least being able to get there to that Super Bowl game is so special. And Jim Kelly's here, of course. Probably those Bills teams did something that will never be done before, to go to 4 Super Bowls in a row. It's not going to happen again. It's just so rare and it's so special. But Jim, those teams, do you still remember fondly or still proud of what they accomplished?
I am, and I think the further we're removed from those games, I think people appreciate what we did. They just had the 30 for 30 on ESPN within the last month or so. And I think for me in particular, because you know, I was a quarterback in all those teams, and you take some responsibility for that because you were the leader. But for me, after we lost the first one, I mean, I was a little boy, and I grew up in Pittsburgh, so I watched, as a teenager, a young kid, watching the Steelers. I was one of those kids that I drew number 12 on my jersey. Terry Bradshaw was my idol on the field. Joe Namath off the field. I wasn't good enough to be a running back, as you will know if anybody watched me play the game, position of quarterback. But as a little kid, I would put myself in that position. You know, 2 minutes left to go in the Super Bowl, and I'm driving my team down the field to win a game. Well, for me, Super Bowl 25 against the New York Giants, that dream I had came true. Here I was, a quarterback of the Buffalo Bills with 2 minutes to go in the Super Bowl, lead my team down the field to win the game. And unfortunately, as we all know, the kick went wide right, we lost. As a matter of fact, Teddy's team won 2 Super Bowls by last-second field goals at the end of the game to win. So you never know what will happen. But why I feel I'm so blessed is, you know, when we played in those games, there were, you know, after we lost the first one, you saw you didn't win. Then after second and third, and you hear all the negativity and all the things said about your team going, you know, hearing all the negative stuff. But the thing for me is, I always knew Bruce Smith and Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed and them were always, I knew they were going to be physically fit, but I wasn't sure mentally. what guy wouldn't be, or what guy got tired of hearing it all the time. But that's one of the things that I think why we rallied so much. We had a great leader, Mark Levy, a guy that totally is one of the main reasons we got to where we're at. But our team became so close. And when we got to the 4th Super Bowl, we said, let's just go and have fun. Before the pressure's on, I think there's pressure on all of us each and every week to go out and perform, but it's some pressure you put on yourself. But I'm so proud to say I played for the Buffalo Bills, and as Teddy said before, to go 4 years in a row. You heard Franco talk about how hard it is to go to 1. We went to 4. There's some great quarterbacks. Warren Moon, who I consider one of the greatest quarterbacks to play. I mean, he's a heck of a quarterback. Never went to 1. Eric Dickerson, another guy, never been to 1. There's a lot of guys never get that opportunity to go. And I'm just blessed to know that I played with a bunch of guys that never, ever gave up. Even though we didn't win, I'm still proud. I will go to my grave saying I'm proud to say I'm a Buffalo Bill.
So Fitz, you see how it's hard to get there, right? New York Jets, 10-6. You think you get 10 and you're going to the playoffs. What do the Jets got to do to get there, man?
Well, Franco had said playing the best ball at the right time and coming together, and we were sitting at 5-5 during the middle of the season, and basically a do or die situation every game. And we reeled off 5 in a row. We're sitting at 10-5. We've got a great chance if we win. We're in the playoffs, and we travel to Buffalo for Week 17. I'm feeling good about the game. I'm ready to go, ready to play. It's a little bit cold. Jim gives me like this extra hard handshake before the game. Hurts my hand a little bit. Threw me off. We lose the game.
My bad.
We had a year this year that I don't think a lot of people expected, but there was such disappointment at the end of the year, and so it's hard to sit back and think about all the good things that happened. But then Kansas City reels off 10 or 11 in a row to get into the playoffs, and it's such a difficult thing, but it's such a competitive game. And I think every year as NFL players we go into the year as with the belief that this is it, this is the year we're going to do it. And that's why it's such a unique sport and a unique game, because everybody does have a chance to turn it around quick. And with New York, I think I'm a free agent now, but I think we and they have a very special thing going, and hopefully they can continue to get better.
A couple good receivers, and Derek Decker and Brandon Marshall probably want you back too. So.
Yes, it's very easy to throw to a guy Steve too. I'm sure I'd love to throw to him, but Brandon Marshall pretty easy to throw.
Well, I wanted to move on to the game here, and I'm glad we have Alex Smith, because I was talking to Alex Smith a little earlier in the unique sort of animal that Cam Newton is, but I don't think people know how much ability Alex Smith has in terms of watching the film and being an analyst, how many quarterback runs, also Kansas City runs, how much it's a West Coast offense in Kansas City, but there's so much, I call it Saturday football, that they bring in terms of zone read and things like that. So I think it's great to have Alex Smith here. I guess I just want you to explain the threat of Cam Newton, the quarterback run, the 11-on-11 football that it presents, and the challenges that the Denver Broncos will have.
Yeah. Well, first, thank you for putting me in the same category as Cam Newton. Have you guys ever seen Cam Newton? The guy is enormous. Enormous. I think that's one thing, watching from afar. We didn't play Carolina this year, but obviously watching from afar and to see their run, and then here in the playoffs to watch them. I think Cam is what makes that offense so unique. Obviously, it's a team sport, but he truly is such a unique guy, and I think that physical stature is part of it, because he's been able to stay healthy. As you've seen, quarterbacks and that Saturday football, as you talk about coming into the NFL, and the big thing is, can you handle it? Can you stay healthy? I think with Cam, that's the first part, that he is such a big man that he can take it play in, play out, and for a season. But really, I think it's been that he's always kind of had that, and I think with that, you've really seen this year with the passing, with him being able to stand in the pocket and make a lot